Hello, and welcome to the Wealth Institute. This is where future millionaires and billionaires come to learn and grow. We are always super excited to introduce to you another stunning discovery on your journey to a super successful life. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so now. While most people find our content inspiring, others may feel offended simply because we struck a chord. These principles have worked like a charm in the lives of many successful people. Get ready, future millionaires and billionaires. We are super excited to lead you on this incredible journey of being the next millionaires and billionaires. Today, we will cover Chapter 1 of The Servant Leader. Author Emmanuel Randolph Wheagar, a contemporary executive business and leadership coach. Chapter 1. Leading from Behind. The phrase, leading from behind, appears to be counterintuitive at first until it is deciphered and conceptualized. This is because of your predisposition to dictatorial leaders you may be working with. For example, be your boss, your pastor, head of your organization, or even the president of your country. This is why it may be difficult to imagine how leadership can be effective while leading people from behind. Traditionally, the leader stands at the top while his followers wait at the bottom as he controls them from the top. This is exactly why a lot of leaders burn out. They carry the burden of control and dominance until they get tired and helpless. Interestingly, when such a leader is ready to retire, he cannot find nor trust anyone from the very organization he ran for decades because he was busy protecting his position. None of his people know how to be in the front because they were never led from behind. This is the reason why companies will always hire their CEOs from outside of the company. What kind of madness is this? I am not insinuating that leading from behind means folding your hands or relinquishing your core responsibility and allowing everybody to call the shots. Relinquishing your leadership responsibilities is a perfect formula for disaster and massive failure. Charles Krauthammer, columnist of the Washington Post, wrote an article, The Obama Doctrine, Leading from Behind, where he draws a conclusion that, though leading from behind may be seen as a subtle doctrine, it is certainly a great leadership style that made the Obama presidency a great success. Leading from behind is the force that allows a leader to identify the strengths, weaknesses, talents, and potential of members in the group. The servant leadership style allows the leader to spot potential threats against the organization and opportunities that the organization can utilize for growth. I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. John chapter 10 verse 11. How many leaders do you know that will even train you to be their future successor if you are not their child or relative? A good shepherd stays behind his flock and he cares about every single one of them. Leading from behind allows the leader to identify the weak, the lame, the fast, the sick, and the smartest. Are your followers parasites that follows you fearfully day after day? Does your subordinate see you, and are scared and extremely cautious, but see their colleagues a minute later and the fear disappears? Trapped in every follower is a leader. Dr. Miles Monroe. Nelson Mandela, in his 1994 autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, describes a leader as one who leads from behind as a shepherd. The shepherd stays behind the flock, letting the weakest go ahead. The servant leader is a motivator, an influencer, a person that you genuinely want to be around. A position of enormous power and strength. Leading from behind is a position of strength and courage. In the Gospel, according to Matthew chapter 23 verses 11 and 12, Jesus delineated and explained to his disciples who the real master was. Jesus identified and depicted that the greatest leader among you is the one who is willing to be your servant. Jesus further asserts that he who is willing to be the least of all, and a servant of all, not seeking positions and power, shall be your master. The 44th U.S. President Barack Obama is referred to in many sectors as one of the world's greatest servant leaders who mastered the art of leading from behind. According to the Politico, a victory for leading from behind is how one anonymous Obama advisor labeled the Libya strategy in an interview with The New Yorker in 2011. People want to be valued and given the chance to display their God-given talents. Let the generals do their work. Let the project manager be free to exercise his or her creativity, let the choir director be allowed to be creative, and allow the new associate to voice his opinion without fear. The most effective leader breaks away from the conventional leading from the front model and embraces the refreshing ideas of his followers while leading them from behind. The servant leader does not rule his followers. He leads from behind, which allows the leader to spot untapped greatness and potential in his followers. People who are truly strong lift others up. People who are truly powerful bring others together. Michelle Obama, attorney and former First Lady of the United States. The servant leader is a cheerleader. According to the Harvard Business Review, now, and into the coming decades, the most effective leaders will lead from behind. The servant leader cheers his followers to success by coaching, motivating, inspiring, and rewarding them on small successes as well as big accomplishments. The servant leader strives to see his followers do well. He is like a tailwind that boosts the morale of the people under his leadership. He taps the power of collective genius. He does not want to be seen up front very often. He is more gratified when he encourages a potential subordinate to sit in a meeting or facilitate that big presentation. In his autobiography, Nelson Mandela described a great leader as a shepherd. They remain behind the flock, letting the nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. Now, that is the most amazingly powerful trait of an effective leader. In the 21st century, the expectation of the workforce has changed dramatically. People want to be valued and want to have a voice. And the servant leader recognizes that very well. Leading from behind does not mean relinquishing your leadership role, but rather building a community. Thus appointing potential leaders to run those processes that make the community, the company, the family, the church, or the organization prosper. A leader is at his best when people barely know he exists. When the work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will all say, "We did it all by ourselves." Lao Tzu, philosopher, and founder of Taoism. The servant leader creates a stress-free zone. Leading from behind is less stressful and more satisfying as compared to the dinosaur age leadership where the leader is revered with the know-it-all crown, but yet, so disengaged. When the leader leads from behind and allows people to make meaningful contributions to a community larger than themselves, a win-win situation comes alive. In an interview with The New Yorker, correspondent Ryan Lizzer said that one of Barack Obama's military successes became a reality because he simply allowed the generals to exercise their duties uninterrupted. The servant leader creates a community that perpetuates purpose, values, and rules of engagement as to how the players will interact and strive together. The servant leader understands delegation, teamwork, motivation, spotting talent, and building those talents to become leaders too. What a remarkable joy to watch. Linda Hill of the Harvard Business Review puts it rightly. She said, of the different types of leadership, a leader who leads from behind is a servant leader who identifies the need of the team, helps create conditions that allow individuals to shine. Being in the spotlight makes you a star, but creating a star for the spotlights makes you a legend. Emmanuel Randolph Wheagar. Professor Hill of the Harvard Business Review unequivocally points out that businesses are increasingly interdependent, thus requiring leaders to bring collaborative skills to the table. Most people dislike their bosses, but everyone loves a servant leader. They are motivated to do their ultimate best with true intent and willingness. The servant leader shares more of his power. It is ironic that the more power you give, the more powerful you become. In troubled times, President Obama continues to lead from behind, according to Forbes magazine, an article by John Tamny. New York Times best-selling author Richard Miniter. and a former writer for the Barclays Wall Street Journal editorial page, wrote a fascinating book meant to help readers develop an understanding of how Obama leads from behind. The Republican right viewed President Barack Obama as an evil genius from the dark side, while the Democrats saw him as a hero who came to correct the disparities in society and to fight for the disenfranchised. One prominent attribute both Democrats and Republicans agreed on was the fact that President Obama was a leader who leads from behind, thus empowering and nurturing the potential of the people who served in his cabinet. When people feel trusted, they perform beyond expectations. The servant leader praises his followers for every effort made. He awards their efforts and celebrates their wins. They look forward to the praises and awards, and will stay with the company because they feel valued. In today's workforce, workers are increasingly pursuing self-actualization and meaning. In search for purpose and self-actualization, some demographics, including millennials and Generation Z, are willing to sacrifice salary and job security for having a seat at the table, having a voice, awards for good works, praises for their ideas, and being incentivized for their innovative contribution. The leaders who will inspire the 21st century workforce are those who do not get caught up in personal power, control, and need for being the godly figure, but rather the roadmap that will serve as a coach who leads his team to achieve greatness and self-actualization. These leaders will sit across the ballroom table and make their subordinates feel like equals by allowing them to make meaningful contribution to the company's overall strategy. Growth and productivity is inevitable when this model is mastered by the leader. The next chapter talks about the power of humility that the servant leader possesses. The chapter will feature Uruguay's President José Pepe Mujica and George Washington, President and founding father of the United States of America. If you have watched up to this point, and is considering to apply some of these golden principles to your life, write the words progress in the comments below. Hey, future millionaires and billionaires! Thank you for spending some time with us today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click the notification button to this channel for other chapters of The Servant Leader and other life-changing contents. Please let us know what you think in the comments below.